Good morning. Welcome. It is Wednesday, July 22nd. We're 90 days out from October 20th. The DTD2 this week continues. You're calling your Ds and your Os. You're texting your Ps. It is an action-packed Wednesday. We have all partners today, but before we get there, we're heading into the one and only KW Breakthrough Club. Your Breakthrough Club is your place that you're going to go hang out. If you remember, and you probably ask your parents if you don't. There was a movie ages ago called The Breakfast Club. So with the new class called Breakthrough 120, we figured we'd make the Breakthrough Club instead of the Break Fast Club. So Breakthrough Club happens 9 to noon, Monday through Friday. You can jump in there. It's just like a study hall if you've got nothing better to do in the morning. And this is what we do in the morning. We talk to the humans. Professionals make appointments in the morning, go on appointments in the afternoon. So the probability of you getting a hold of your people in the morning, especially we know nationally the witching hour, depending on your time zone, the witching hour is like 8 to 10 in the morning and then 4 to 6 in the afternoon. Why? Because most of your friends heading to their delicious jobs in corporate America are on the road between 8 and 10, heading into said office. And then they are also on the road between 4 and 6, escaping. So picture your friend that works at that huge company. They're in the middle of a huge pool of cubes, and you call, and it's 4:35. They can now, this is what I would do, definitely. They can now pretend it's their mom and be like, it's my mom. I got to take the call. And they can leave. Or they can just wander around and pretend they're on the phone with their mother or a client. Doesn't matter. You get to talk to them. So we know that for the most part, people are getting a hold of their people in the morning to set those appointments. Think of when you set most of your appointments. If you're somebody who's doing avid phone lead gen. Now, I know I just said foreign words in a foreign land. I get that. What we do know, though, is more often than not, when we are talking to our people, we are going to be most influential, most effective, because they can hear the passion in our voice. We can ask direct questions in the moment, right? Marketing and prospecting, while they are different, they can both have a call to action. But the call to action in the moment while you're in conversation with your people is definitely powerful. So whatever you're doing for lead generation, back to square one, whatever you're doing for lead generation, we have a space for you to do it. That is the Breakthrough Club. You can click the link and go to kwbreakthroughclub.com or simply click the link in the morning news for 9 o'clock and go to lead gen. If you have licenses in any of the states that we're celebrating this week, we have Vermont contracts at 9 o'clock in Portsmouth and on the Zoom. We have Maine contracts, as always, at 10 o'clock in Portsmouth and on the Zoom. And then 11 o'clock, we will have New Hampshire contracts, as always, in Portsmouth and on the Zoom. So contracts today, Vermont, Maine, New Hampshire, 9, 10, 11, here in person in Portsmouth or on the Zooms at kellertv.com. Then we'll have a little break while everybody gets their lunch. And then at 12 o'clock, JV will light the wick on the All Partners meeting, which is taking place today in Portsmouth in person and on the Zoom at kellertv.com. There will be a panel. We're talking about summertime momentum. People get jammed up. There is this emotional tear between, should I be spending time with my loved ones or should I still be working? Or there are people that are struggling with what's not happening over their summertime months. And we can go back 90 days. If you are fascinated, or as the great Alexis Masmora said ages ago, she was overwhelmed by her underwhelm. And what she meant by that was she didn't have anything going on and she was jamming herself up. And I told her, I promised her I would footnote her every time I said that. And I think it's one of the most clever things that an agent has ever said to me, that she was overwhelmed by the underwhelm. So go back 90 days, right? We're July 22nd. So it's not June. It's not May. It's April 22nd. What were you doing in April that might have jammed you up now in July? And we don't need to sit there and sit in that mud and focus on what you weren't doing in April if that's how you're feeling right now in July. Let's just get back to work. The greatest thing we can do is just change our trajectory. And we talk about this quite a bit. We're going to be heading to Texas again. And I always say when the plane goes from Boston to Austin, but we're not heading to Austin. We have a few more years in San Antonio while they work on the Austin Convention Center. But the analogy I always use when we talk about just we can do something different today is when you think about when a plane gets in the air. So when we get to that third week of August, and a bunch of us are heading to San Antonio for mega camp. When that plane gets in the air, it does not fly straight. And I'm not talking about flight patterns. I'm just talking about it does not fly straight from Boston to San Antonio. There are micro corrections, micro transitions that are happening at all times. Even an autopilot, it's going to continue to make corrections because things will push it left or right. So you don't need to make any massive change. There doesn't need to be this huge undulation in what you're doing today. You need to make a small change today. And then stay in that process tomorrow and the day after that and the day after that. And we did this in math. Get your protractor out, right? And you're gonna just all you're gonna do is move that 1 degree. But from your starting point to your ending point, that will send you in a totally different direction over time. That's what we're going to talk about today with the panel. We've got a panel. We've got people that are on teams. We've got solo artists. We've got people that are parents. We've got people that are single parents. We have people that are purposeful about vacation, and they do big breaks. And then we have people that, I'll give you a little teaser. One of our people that's on the panel today is either really good about shutting it down because his boys are home, or he throws his wife and the boys in a plane and they go to Disney. And if you have to guess on who that is, you won't have to guess much longer if you don't know who I'm talking about. I think most of you know who I'm talking about. So we're going to have some great personalities, some great people, some great passionate agents that love what they do, talking about how they keep the momentum going and giving yourself the grace to take your foot off the gas and take time for yourself. I know I've said this a million times. I had a dean 1,000 years ago in college, and he said to us, if you don't take one day off, you'll take every day off. And what he meant by that is if you're not taking some time for yourself each and every day, then you'll spend the day reminding yourself that you haven't taken any time for yourself. And that will jam you up. It'll be different for everybody, but it will jam you up. And then draw it out to the bigger picture when you're not planning to get away at all. Anything. And every year is going to be different. Truth be told, my family's not doing anything big or special this year. We have had health concerns with my in-laws. We lost my father-in-law in May. So we're not doing anything huge. We're sort of on call right now. But we're making the best with the time that we have. So when we do escape, we're going to be taking Aiden back to school that final week of August. And we will do some road tripping in there. It's not a big trip to Europe or a big trip to Disney. It's time with my family. We're on the road. We're doing our thing. And when I get back, and I will do it because I do it every year, I will complain the Tuesday after Labor Day, like, wow, where'd the summer go? Did we take advantage of where we live? We're in the most beautiful part of the country. Everyone comes up here to drink our alcohol and eat our lobster. Did you take time for you? That's my question. Are you punching out a little bit? Are you making sure you got wind back in your sails? Because what we inevitably do, we will stack the deck against ourselves and say, you know what? I honestly can't. I won't have the time or the money to be able to do it. But if you book that vacation, Murphy's Law, welcome to the show. My name's Murphy. You book that vacation as a realtor, we know what happens. You, without fail, will start to have people call you. Can you come list my house? And you've got teammates here. Whether you're on a team or not, you've got support here. And you'll feel better for it. So if you aren't yet starting to make sure that you're carving out time for yourself, I invite you to do that. Gary talks about this every year at family reunion. Grab your calendar and put your vacations in first. Put your family time in first. Then if you've got sports schedules and you already know when your niece is going to be playing soccer in March, put that in your calendar. At this company, we say God, family, then business, and we put business last. But if you think about it, it is also foundational insofar as it is going to fund our life that we stack on top of it. I can tithe my church. I can be philanthropic. I can give to my faith based on the foundational of the business that I have underneath me. So yes, we put it last in that list because the business should not come before your faith or your family. Yet it's going to fund your ability to celebrate both your faith and your family. So when we're here doing our KW stuff, let's be in integrity. Any moments you spend away from your family or your faith to do the jobby job thing, to do the work, to do the KW stuff, let's beat the crap out of those minutes. Any time away from your family should not be wasted. That's my point. Because if we're wasting our time at the office in this industry with our clients, that is all time pulled away from the people that you love the most. The reason you came here was to be able to control your calendar and your bank account. And yet for some reason, we let it slip away. We go back into this employee status of, well, I'm just going to go to the office and work on some stuff. That's not how this industry works. We are not paid. We're not exchanging hours for money here. You could be one phone call away from finding a wealth determiner for yourself. The question is, are you having those conversations? Are you putting yourself in the pathway of success by showing up? Or like many agents who say they're working with a lot of buyers, are you working with them? Or are you waiting with them? Are you waiting for the industry to deliver the listing that your buyer is looking for? Or are you going to go find it? The license we have in the states in which we serve lets us hunt and kill. That is our job. Think to yourself about how many new builds, unless that's something you specialize in, how many brand new houses will you sell this year? Or will they be pre-owned, lightly used, sold to you not by a builder or a developer, but by another seller, another owner? My point in saying that is the house that your buyer is looking for and the house that you are probably going to list next are being lived in by a family that also has goals and a pathway to move onward. We have to put ourselves out there to have the questions and the conversations, to peel the onion just a little bit more, to find out who, what, where, why, and when. And we do that with the conversations that we're having on a regular basis when we're doing our lead generation. So we'll talk to people about what they're doing to keep that momentum going. That'll be at 12 o'clock with the All Partners meeting. At 1:30, the one and only Carol Goodwin is doing the buyer presentation for Roadmaps. Roadmaps, it is Mega Agent Productivity Systems, or Mega Agent Panels. And today we're doing a presentation with Carol Goodwin on her buyer presentation. You talk about super casual. If you've ever met Carol, she is a delight. And a fantastic person. She's helped so many people in her career. And she's just going to talk about her process when she sits with a buyer, from the moment they first connect to getting them to the closing table. And we're doing this with different agents every month, both buyers and sellers, to make sure that you're seeing the listing process, that you're seeing the buyer process, and you're seeing it from different people with different styles. There is no one singular way to do it. There is a best practice, but you will find your unique practice. And you'll do that through repetition. And you'll do that through presentations like today's at 1:30. So stay after the All Partners meeting for that at 1:30. And then tonight at 5 o'clock, I know people are going to be here for this. I will not be here for this. Francis and I have Special Olympics golf. So I will be at the NIP hitting golf balls with my boy. But you will be here at 5 o'clock tonight. Winning the Room, negotiation tactics that protect your client. So negotiation skills with both Jen Vashon and Jason Westcott. JV and Westcott will take you through that conversation. That's going to be in Portsmouth, in person, and on the Zooms tonight at 5. All the links for all the things are in your morning news. That is in your email. I will see you in and around the Market Center, God willing, today for all partners and contracts and everything else that we have going on. If I can help with anything, let me know. It is 603-834-2856 or meetwithcoach.com.